not in prose but in poetry.
Mr. Chairman, the manner of your calling me
What?
is not constitutional, it is poetic.
Order, order, order. No reflections from the chair, please.
It reminds me of
Does
some lines of a Kashmiri poet who said, Bulbul ko gul mubarak, gul ko chaman mubarak, rangeen tabiyaton ko range sukhan mubarak. And today, we are steeped in the rainbow-colored tints of speech and speeches in praise of my great leader and comrade Rajendra Prasad. I do not know how even poetic fancy can add yet another tint to the rainbow. So I will be modest, emulating the example of Rajendra Babu himself, and confine myself, as a woman should, to purely domestic issues. We have all taken a very long journey on the wings of our great philosopher, Sir Radhakrishnan, who seems to have evaporated from the scene. And my head is still reeling, being ignorant, with all the wisdom in several languages that he has poured out upon us. And all the other speakers representing different provinces, sects, religions, communities, and the gentleman who's asking all of us later comers to quit India after the British do, staking his claim to the original land of his ancestors. They've all spoken, and one thing they have been united, and that is on the question of Rajendra Prasad. Some time ago, I was asked to compress an epic into an epigram about Rajendra Prasad. Those are my words, but the journalist put it in his verbose, indefinite fashion, as all journalists do. He said, tell me in a line about Rajendra Prasad. And I said I could only do so if I had a pen of gold dipped in a bowl of honey, because ordinary ink would not suffice to explain, to define, or to adequately pay tribute to his qualities. Very rightly has Radhakrishnan reminded us, I agree with one part, not with the other, that both the temporary president and the permanent chairman were born in Bihar. Incidentally, I happened to be adopted by Bihar for this purpose, the Constituent Assembly, that both had imbibed something of the qualities of that great Buddha who was born in Bihar. I said that I differed on one point, not on the other. The point on which I do not differ is that Rajendra Prasad has certainly descended spiritually from that great Buddha who taught compassion, understanding, sacrifice, and love. For many years, I've had the privilege of being associated with him. He's my leader, he's my comrade, he's my brother, and I found how much younger a brother is than I thought. On his birthday, I realized that he's 5 whole years younger than I am. And therefore, I'm in a position to give him my blessing as well as my meed of praise. In this house, where everyone has said with conviction that he would be the guardian of the honor of the house, I was envisaging him not as the angel with a flaming sword, but the angel with a lily that wins victories over the hearts of men. Because in him there is an essential sweetness that is part of his strength. There is an essential wisdom that is part of his experience. There is an essential clarity of vision, imagination, and creative faith that brings him very near to the feet of Buddha himself. I see gaps in this house, and my heart is sore because of the absence of those brothers of mine whom every hour I'm looking forward to filling those gaps under the leadership of my old friend Muhammad Ali Jinnah. I think if any persuasion were necessary, if any final touch of magic were necessary to bring them in, it would be the essential sweetness, the essential wisdom, the essential creative faith of Rajendra Prasad. I am hoping, and I believe I am right in hoping, that my friend Dr. Ambedkar, who is a little bitter today for no reason that I can discern, will soon be one of the most emphatic supporters of this Constituent Assembly and all its purposes, and that through him his adherents of many millions will realize that their interests are as safe as the interests of more privileged people. I hope those that call themselves the original masters of the land, the tribal people, will realize that there is no distinction of caste, creed, ancient or modern status in this Constituent Assembly. I hope the smallest minority in this country, whether represented or unrepresented politically or by, I don't know what the other things are by which they can be represented, I hope they will all realize that they have a jealous, stern, loving guardian of their interests who will not permit the most powerful in the land to infringe by a hair's breadth upon what is a birthright of equity and equal opportunity in this country. I hope also that the princes of India, among whom I count many personal friends, who are so worried, so anxious, so uncertain, so afraid today, will realize that the Constitution for India is a constitution for the freedom and emancipation of every human being in India, whether it be the prince or the peasant. I want that realization to be carried home to them, and in no better manner, more convincing manner can it be carried than through the guidance and guardianship, the eloquence and action of Rajendra Prasad. I have been asked to speak, I don't know for how long, but I believe that I must disprove the age-old proverb that the woman has the last word and the longest word. I have the last word, no doubt, not because I am a woman, but because I'm acting today as the hostess of the Indian National Congress, who has so gladly invited those not within her fold to come and participate with us in framing a constitution that shall be the immortal charter of India's freedom. Friends, I do not praise or commend Rajendra Prasad. I affirm that he is the symbol of India's destiny today, and in him we may impose the faith that he will help, with your help, create a charter that shall restore to our mother still in fetters, her rightful place as a torchbearer of liberty, of friendship, of love, of equity. And she who today still mourns in her house with its roof of snow and its walls of sea will rejoice, relighting her lamp of inspiration, so that once again in history she takes her rightful place, and she will be justified of her children, and her children will be justified of her.